Hello anybody, and welcome back to Let's Play Kirby's Dreamland Extra Game for the Game Boy. I'm Mr. Devious, or just Deeb, and in the last episode, that is, the first episode, we beat the first two stages of Kirby's game Extra Game, which is basically Kirby's Dreamland but on hard mode. And in this episode, we are going to go on to level 3, which we are doing right now. This is Float Island, and is also known as Ice Cream Island in Spring Breeze in the remake on Kirby's Dreamland. So, just as a refresher to what's going on here, what happened is I went into Extra Game because that's the harder version of the game with new enemies and such that will do more damage, faster, more aggressive. Just that kind of reminder. Traps like that with the cannon in the water, you doing spread shots all over the place. Black flies, octopi, all doing 2 damage and doing tons of damage. And that, oh god, and they fly into the ceiling and do 2 points per damage and... However, we do have a microphone here, and, if we spit that out, we will kill everything on screen. One of the design philosophies of at least Kirby's Dreamland the first is that in Kirby's ability to infinitely fly, that was supposed to be a sort of a method that players could legitimately use. Like, if people were wanted just to easily breeze through the game, they could. They could just fly over everything, and that's an enemy that'll do 2 damage to us, so we are going to kill it. So, and we're dead again. Not even 2 minutes into this, and we're dead again. Extra Game has killed me a few times. I game overed in the first episode in Stage 2, but wow, I am not having a good time here. So, yeah. Enemies will hit harder, and what was I saying up there? And these enemies will fly at you. They are replacements of an original enemy. They have pretty erratic movements, and they are pretty hard to keep up with, and coconuts drop on you, and Extra Game isn't entirely fair in that some things will just come out of nowhere and blindside you, like the frickin' coconut from the ceiling. However, we do want to come down here and avoid that Gordo, because Gordos do 3 points of damage. Well, anyway, like I was saying, now that I've got my thoughts back, normally in Kirby's Dreamland and in many Kirby games, you can just kind of fly over everything if you want your experience to be that easy. But in Extra Game, they kind of put crap in the air so you can't just fly over everything, and then this is kind of a jerk move. You gotta be ready to know to float once those Gordos are just kind of flying back and forth there. And they're also blocking this path, moving really quickly. In my experience, these ones are really hard to get past. And in Extra Game, you can't just kind of fly over everything like you could in normal mode. And you just need to be more cautious all around while also being very quick. Whereas in the original game, you just kind of go at your own pace. And I basically said all that in the original episode, I think, so I'm done repeating myself. You are not going to eat me. And this looks like a door, but it's not. There's nothing in there, at least I don't think. No, nothing in there. So with that, we are going to continue on ahead. Interesting thing about Stage 3 of Float Island is that in Kirby Superstar for the Super Nintendo, which was a mashup of Kirby games, there was a game called Spring Breeze, which was basically this game, but shortened. And this game is already short, but the stages were shorter, and they were only... I keep forgetting I'm not actually invincible. I just breathe fire because I ate the spicy curry. But yeah, in Spring Breeze, in not Superstar Saga, and why can't I even remember this anymore? Kirby Superstar. Was it just called Superstar? I guess so. Well, anyway. That's where we're supposed to go, so we're going to go into the mast of the ship, because I think, yep, there are goodies that we want in there. Anyway, if I'm going to get this thought out, Spring Breeze, Kirby Superstar, it was only 4 stages long. This game is 5 stages long. In Kirby Superstar, in Spring Breeze, they combined this stage, Float Island, and Castle Lololo, and they called it Ice Cream Island, I think. And you need to just have good timing here, or just get hit anyway, whatever. And that guy's just shooting all over the place. So yeah, this stage, it technically existed in Spring Breeze, but it was merged with Castle Lolo, and Lolo and La 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 from the last episode were the boss. So we're gonna have a unique boss in this episode, sort of. However, for now, we're going to take this warp star over to this whale. And Kirby's a jerk trying to suffocate a whale. And he gets what he deserves, and he gets blasted into the sky with diamonds. So we're coming up actually on the boss of Stage 3? Yeah, Stage 3. And I don't know what this thing is, but apparently it makes Kirby shoot rapid-fire puffs. And I only have 1 health, so I'm going to die really quickly. This is... I'm dead. That's okay. And I get hit again! This is actually one of the most challenging bosses in the game. This is Kabula. It is a giant... It's basically a blimp with a cannon. There's nothing particularly special about it. It was absent from Spring Breeze in, not Superstar Saga, in just Kirby Superstar. All you gotta do is... It's practically a shmup. It's actually one of the most challenging boss, probably. Maybe second most challenging boss in the normal version of this game. In this mode, it's a lot faster, shoots a lot more, is a lot more aggressive, but the most effective way to fight it is to just lead it, to lead its movements, and try to shoot it more than it shoots you. But sometimes it just comes down to luck, so I got lucky, I suppose. And now Kirby dances. I've always found Kirby dancing to be one of the most gratifying things in video games. I don't know what it is. It's just such a cool thing, and oh god. Kirby plus Cloud equals millions of Kirbys, I suppose. Now, Bubbly Clouds is probably the worst offender in extra game for enemies that just come out of nowhere and blindside. Nope! Well, that was my own fault. I'm not going to blame the controls here. Most of the deaths in this game will be my fault. Or, yeah, I'm gonna take responsibility for my own deaths. But I will say that the controls in the Dreamland, I wouldn't say they're unresponsive, but they do have a bit of a delay on them, like turning direction, so you can't really be rapid fire. These are Scarfies. If you try to inhale them, they will turn into monsters and chase you, and then explode. Now, these will block your path, but the easiest way to deal with these is to just shoot them with a puff of air. The puff of air has always been a part of Kirby's arsenal, but usually as far as a weapon goes, it's usually not very much of a weapon. However, considering this is like one of his only options in Kirby's Dreamland, he kind of has no choice but to use it, and I think that's a cat? I don't know, but it's eaten now. Now, here's a new thing that's kind of terrifying. Umbrellas in extra game home in on you and try to kill you. Umbrellas hate Kirby for some reason, and there's a cannon on an umbrella shooting up, and that nearly hit us and would have done 2 points of damage. 3 bugs for 1. I'm just gonna eat all of those. Now here, oh, these are not Boomerang Bros. They're Poppy Bros with boomerangs, though. They replace Sir Kibbles, and interestingly, these enemies do appear in Kirby Superstar Saga. Not Super... I'm gonna keep calling it that by accident. In Kirby Superstar as a cutter enemy ability, so that's neat. Because abilities weren't in this game. It's all just puffing and sucking and shooting, and that's all there is to it, really. The Poppy Boomerang Brothers guys, their boomerangs go further and of course do more damage than Sir Kibbles, and you just want to deal with the Scarfies one at a time here. There's really not much to them aside from that. And the bugs, and if I do remember... Oh! I was being cautious and I still got hit by that guy. So he's going to be eaten, because I don't like him at all. So far we've gotten pretty far through Bubbly Clouds, and we still have 2 lives to spare. And I got hit again. Gotta look out here. Enemies just kind of fly all over the place in Bubbly Clouds. Bubbly Clouds is one of the least fair of extra game stages. I don't know if that's just me, but, well, like the rest of extra game, it's not as bad as I remember it being. I just noticed I haven't even made it to the mini-boss yet, so hopefully I can get there without dying. That would be nice. I mean, I have 2 lives left, but I'm gonna want those for when I get up to the boss. Because if you die in extra game, I think you still have unlimited continues. Like, if you get game over, you have unlimited continues, but it sends you back to the start of the level. And Bubbly Clouds is kind of a long level, and I don't really want to go through it all again. All in all is said and done. So, if you want to be cautious and just finish these guys off where they can't hurt you. There's nothing over here. I don't know why I went over there then. This stage is weird. It kind of wraps on itself, sort of. Like, it loops if you were paying attention to the top areas, and I don't know if it actually loops or if it's just a visual trick. This is Kracko Jr. He is the mini boss of the stage. He's very fast, but as long as you're ready for him, he's not really that hard. And I am doing terribly against this. Okay, once you get his pattern down, though, he's not that bad. Holy crap, I am just getting the crap beaten out of me. That was bad. I got decimated there. Wow, I am just the best at Kirby. So yeah, he'll bounce off. He's gonna do that. He'll bounce back. He'll fly over there. And then you want to move up over his dive attack. Because here he'll come in to do it. And then he'll drop his bombs. And then he'll spit out his things. And alright, there we go. And I am not doing this very well. Oh boy. I remember when I did this on my practice file and I didn't get hit like once. How did I do this? But yeah, I guess he's really not that hard if you just press yourself all the way to the left because he can't really hit you, and the best way to do this is to just stay out of the center and not do what I'm doing. Okay, I think I have this figured out now. This is getting annoying even for me. Okay, now I got it. I'm sorry that this part was kind of ridiculous and painful to watch, but hopefully I can get to the end of this stage without dying, and I missed him again, and I didn't really need to. I just eat that bomb, spit it out, and oh boy. Oh, I do not feel good about myself right now. I could be doing so much better. In my practice file, I got a flawless victory on this guy on my first try, and I lost a life. I nearly lost 2 lives. But once you beat Kracko Jr., you fly all the way into space and get this, thing. I really don't know what that is. I might put up a note of what it is, according to the Kirby wiki. But other than that, what you want to use it for is to get through here as quickly as you can, and that is pretty, you know, as quickly as you can, because those Gordos will actually move to be on level with you, and the rapid-fire puffing is really only the reasonable way to get through those blocks without just sucking them up and shooting them off one at a time, and that takes a while. You want to take a puff to get rid of that Scarfy. And here we have Spicy Curry, so lots of fun times, lots of power-ups in this level for some reason, and those stars that are falling from above hurt you. They look tiny and inconsequential, but they hurt you, and I didn't think that they did for some reason. Probably because they have a tiny hitbox, but I don't know. I think there was something behind that one block, but the one block on the right, but I didn't check because I'm a terrible person. I'm going to avoid most of this trouble over here and fly up to the top. The boss is through there, but a traditional secret is if you go on the moon in Kirby games, you will get secrets. However, if you do that in Extra Game, you're going to have to fly between a ton of different Gordos and avoid all this crap. These guys aren't here in the normal game. They're just kind of here because the developers hate you. And then as soon as you get to the bottom, you want to get through the door as quickly as possible before it rains Gordos on you. And that will bring us to the boss. Kracko, just Kracko, not Kracko Sr. And just like Kracko Jr., the strategy is pretty much the same. He has one of 3 moves that he'll do really fast. He'll either do that, which you avoid by standing over there, bombs or your projectiles to spit at him. He'll go up a little to the right and then charge at you, and if he does that, you just jump once, and that's all you really need to do. Once you figure that out, that's all you need to do. He's really not that bad. It's actually interesting, if you puff up to avoid that move, that one right there, you're a lot less likely to avoid it. Your jump is just a lot quicker in general, and I just got hit because I am a bad person at video games. No, I'm actually doing a lot better at this than I thought I would be against Kracko. See, I had a lot more trouble with Kracko Jr. than I'm having with Kracko, who is just kind of, why aren't I able to hit him? Why can't I hit Kirby? And he's just about dead. Kracko, as you can see then, is, I would say, the second easiest boss after Lololo and La La La. Once you know what to do against him, he's very easy. And that, interestingly, makes Wispy Woods probably one of the hardest bosses in Extra Mode. That's kinda silly. But I digress. We get our little star thing, and time for dancing. And that brings us to stage 5, the final stage of the game, Mount DDD, where we fly into his fortress, down this hallway, and get spit out down this hallway of pictures of DDD. And we have all these doors with the enemies, the bosses that we have already defeated. So you can probably see where this is going. However, I'm not going to do it in this episode. Instead, I will save that for the next episode, which will be the finale of Kirby's Dreamland, this 3-part intermission LP. So, if you want to see the end of Kirby's Dreamland Extra Mode, I just hope to see somebody in the next one. Bye-bye. Hello anybody and welcome back to Let's Play Kirby's Dreamland Extra Game for the Game Boy. I'm Mr. Devious, or just Deeb, and in the previous damn it! Or just Deeb, and in the last episode we got to level 3 of